and we are back once again. Rivals League, what was that, a quick little 4-ish month break? We surely remember how to do this stuff, right? How to relearn how to push all the buttons. I'm sure there will be a couple of scuffed things, but what's a Rivals stream without a couple scuff marks on a Husky? Back again, split 4. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. We got a lot of new teams, a lot of new faces. Um, so a lot of unknowns. I think it's gonna make this definitely a fun split, an unexpected split. Hard to predict, but I think that just makes it better. And yeah, excited to get all these new people in, introduce them to what we're all about here, and hopefully everyone has a good time. And you know, we're definitely gonna have a good time though. So there's that.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's always fun back for a 4 split. There was a little bit of a question mark on whether or not we were going to do a 4th split. The goal was always to do at least 3. We got to that mark and we said, "What? Why not? Why not? We'll do a 4th one, see how it goes." Got a full 8 teams. Don't quote me on this, Husky. I feel like we went 6 teams, 8 teams, 6 teams, and back to 8. So if we do a 5th split, maybe we'll expect 6. Who knows? But got 8 this go around. I guess we'll kick it off with some fun, super exciting admin notes. With I guess the rules stuff. A lot of people have played in Rivals League before. If you played competitive at all before, I'd say like 80% of the rules are pretty much the same league to league. There's always those few extra rules that may or may not determine on what league you play in, or who's on your team. So, quick little refresher, I guess. The big notes, and you can correct me if I say a rule wrong, or maybe I'll probably forget one. But the big one is the Rivals draft system. A mix of full fearless, I think is what it is, and then plus a little bit of Iron Man in there. So if you have that one or two people on your roster, that's a OTP. They will probably not enjoy the draft as much. It feels like you either really like it or you hate it. Um, Depends on how you ask, but it forces people to learn more champs, and especially as we get into playoffs, you see something crazy like maybe a Zeri jungle, or you finally see a Teemo in a comp game or something like that. But it'll be exciting. I think it's actually uh, the most restrictive season. I think because we added the 2 extra bans in games 4 and 5. We're a long ways away from playoffs, but even as you get into game 3, uh, all those champions off the board, it'll be super interesting. So, how do you feel about the Rivals draft system, Husky? Are you a fan, or you wish we went back to the OG ways?
I mean, if I was playing, I like to just, maybe play my one trick every single game. But from a caster standpoint, from a viewer standpoint, I think this is the one big thing that separates Rivals from every other league. Um, Fearless, Iron Man, we get some crazy stuff. You mentioned a Zeri jungle. We've seen it. It happened. We've seen Fiddlesticks top very recently. Neither of them worked out overly well, but we've seen some crazy stuff. You see picks that you don't always see. So for those people who tune into LCS, tune into LCK, and they're like, ah, same exact picks every single time. This is terrible. Who wants to see this? Watch Rivals League. You're gonna see crazy stuff. I guarantee you, we're going to get a Scion mid in one of these games. No spoilers, but there's going to be some things that you don't expect. Some of it's going to work, some of it's not, but either way, it's going to be entertaining.
I don't know who the Scion mid player that you referenced could possibly be, but we'll see if it gets banned or gets thrown out there. We'll see. New split, new champs, so we'll see what we get. Um, that's the main, I guess, unique rule. There is the kind of annoying, kind of important, depends on who you ask, rule of every week. This is on the captains, I guess, to post a lineup. Uh, I put it in the feedback form to possibly take it away. People voted to keep it, so I'll probably first week or two I'll remind all the captains to post your starting lineups. just a rule made after split one because there was some strategic sneaky stuff going on. So it's kind of to combat that, but there'll be a reminder once or twice about that. So there's that lineup rule. I feel like I had one or two more, but don't really remember. 20 games. I remember that one. Not super unique. Other leagues have that type of thing. So from the start of match number 1 on Sunday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 20 games, which is just about 0 games, right, over the course of like 2 months. So to be eligible for playoffs, if you're 50-50 on whether or not you think you're going to make playoffs, maybe you just wait until one of the last weeks and then you spam your 20 games if you hate ranked. Some people will knock it out by default within the first week. So that's another one. Some people are ineligible. It's kind of on the team captain to wrangle those people to get those done. But and I'm sure everybody read the rule book anyway, right? We don't need to keep going through any of the extra boring stuff. What we want to see is the teams that are in split 4. I almost said split 2. Split 2, split 4, same. Okay, what? Do we go in alphabetical order? I don't know if I put them in order or not. Quick rundown of the teams. Who do we have playing in Rivals League Split 4? Going to start with Big Baller Gaming. I don't know. I guess maybe I read all. There's some names I'm not going to pronounce correctly, so we'll see. But we got Averted, Iplock, Frozen Turd, Onset, and Riley Sauce 21. Every team, of course, there's always, subs that come into play, roster changes, who knows, but we're going to run through all these with the assumption that the current starters are going to stay the starters. Wow, a little bit of tongue twister there. There we go, Big Baller Gaming. So some players that we recognize from other splits and some new faces. What are your quick thoughts? Well, actually, we'll do the team power rankings in a bit, but just a quick thought. What do you think about this team?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we definitely have Riley coming back. Iplock also not a stranger. Averted, Frozen, Onset. Don't know them specifically, but this is a 49-point team, so it's one of the higher ranked teams. I like how their points are spread out. Top to bot, we have a 9-point player, 11, a 9, a 12, and an 8. So not overly heavy with having a really high ranked player, but also almost no low ranked players. So looks like a very balanced team on paper. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out for them.
Yeah, currently 2 people on the roster that are ineligible, including one of the starters. So we'll see if they can get that ironed out. But yeah, 49-point team, definitely not the lowest in the league with some familiar faces. And yeah, I agree. We'll see how that shakes out in the team and player rankings. But on paper, it looks like a solid team, top to bottom. We'll move straight on to the next team. We have the double-decker Pecker Wreckers coming in. A lot of familiar faces on this team. Almost a full squad of ex-Rivals players. And if you've paid attention to any of the previous splits, I guess including the tournament's been a couple different team names, and now they're going to come in here with what looks like a stacked roster. We have BK's Righteous, Salosin, Saint Nash, and Sauce. A little bit different of a point distribution on this team, though.
Yeah, so this team's going to check in at 46. So not one of the higher teams. I think they're actually the second lowest pointed team. But you got some heavy hitters on here. I mean, if those of you who've been around, people know BKs, people know Salo, people know Righteous. These guys have been with us and with this league for quite a while here. BK is one of the better top laners, split after split. He is going to be tied for the highest ranked player and highest pointed player in this league. So a lot to look for in the top lane over here. On the opposite side, we have the lowest pointed player in this league as well. In the bot lane, that's going to be Sauce. Definitely is able to play above his point value, but very, very different from what we just saw with BBG. The double deckers, as you will, the highest pointed player and the lowest pointed player. So definitely a different strategy that they are going to pull out here.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious on our not our old men memories here of if you can recall, do teams that have kind of a more equal distribution of points, do they fare better, or is it the teams that have kind of that one or two high pointed player offsetting some low pointed players on the team? I'd be curious to know what really happens. I feel like last split maybe it was a good mix.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll see.
I I think it's been split to split. Last split we had New Origins Hanmoon win, and I think they had one of a couple players that were a little low ranked, and they still pulled it out with some higher. And the split before that, Conduit won CEO, and I think on their team they didn't like every single player was almost equal on that team. So we've seen both strategies work. I think it's going to depend on the team, but both viable.
Okay, so we'll see what happens this split as we move into team number 3. It's going to be MBN Esports. Again, apologies in advance because I can't read too well, but we're going to have Noto top lane, I am Nunu, Ghosty, Willie Lynx, and Laquan support. Uh, a new team that I don't recognize. I think some other people recognize them, so I don't think it's like a new team as far as playing together. Maybe don't quote me on that, but new team to me. I think I recognize a couple individual players, but as a team, new to me. And yeah, you kind of alluded to it earlier. This is the lowest pointed team.
Yeah, this is the lowest pointed team, as you said. Uh, we have No 2 is going to be 5. I am Nunu 10. Ghosty is a 6. Willie 12 and Laquan 10. So both solo lanes, I think the lowest pointed top and the lowest pointed mid. So the two lowest pointed solo laners in the league on the same team. Um, but they find their points in that bot lane. They have their two highest pointed players in the same lane. I would expect looking for a carry down there, and you know these solo laners. Just because you have low points doesn't mean you can't hang with the big pointed players, but certainly on paper at least more of a challenge.
Yeah, of course, points correlates to your solo duo rank. Doesn't always translate to how well or how poorly you play. So there's not always a direct correlation. We've seen players on the lower pointed side really pop off. I feel like we've had even some lower pointed players win all rivals player at the end of the split. So doesn't mean everything. We'll see. I do think two solo laners with lower points. One of them's definitely gonna have to step up. Maybe it'll be both. Uh, we'll see. But points don't mean everything. 43 points. We'll see if they. Yeah, I have to assume they're gonna start out as the underdog, but we'll see if they can prove us wrong. Moving on to team number 4. Uh, one of 2 or 3 recognizable names in the comp league scene. I think it's their first time in Rivals League. We're going to have Mint Vanilla. We're going to have Dude Caleb coming back. Crabadabadoo going jungle. Mint KMZ, Evil Fallen, and Sprites Gambit support. Definitely some recognizable people. 1 or 2 of them coming back for Rivals League. And with a recognizable, I'm losing the word, organization, uh, I think they're gonna, high expectations. I think for this one.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime you see Mint the orc, you think very highly of them. I mean, there's a reason for that. They always put out teams that compete in every league that they're in. Like you said, a couple familiar faces. Dude Caleb, no stranger to Rivals League in the top lane. Um, However, he is the lowest rated ranked player, excuse me, pointed, if you will, on that team at only 5. They 48 points overall, so middle of the pack for Mint. Going to be led by Crabadabadoo, who, by the way, has the best name in this league, and I will fight anyone for that. But 14 points, going to be tied for the highest pointed player in the league. We'll see what they can do out of the jungle. KMZ at 7, Evil Fallen at 12, and Sprite's Gambit at 10. So spread out a little, but Dude Caleb, definitely have seen him play above his point total. However, he is going to be a little low, but just gives those points so that Krabadabadoo can maybe make something happen here in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, similar-ish to MBN esports, both solo laners kind of on the lower pointed side. Again, that doesn't mean everything. That's just the on paper report. Something to note for this team: 3, if not still 4 players on their roster ineligible. You still have over half a week, so maybe some grinding to do for these players, or maybe they'll have to do some subbing in week 1. We'll have to see. For Mint Vanilla, that's the first half of teams. Moving on, number 5, similarly to Mint, an organization that I very much recognize as well in the comp scene. We're going to have Monkeys. Oh, I should have made you pronounce this one, huh? Monkeys Red Bull. See, I know stuff. I know stuff. Uh,
That's I don't think that's that hard of a thing to
no, what
pronounce
you
here.
mean? What is it? I can't. It's blurry to me.
I think it's Monkey's Toro Rosso.
Okay, I thought you were gonna add some spice to it. Okay, we got Monkeys
No,
Toro
no, no.
Rosso
I
coming
mean,
in. I was giving you the opportunity. Give you the
all right,
opportunity.
all right. I mean,
So,
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think that's Italian. I don't speak Italian, but looks
okay,
Italian to me.
I just assumed, man. I thought you were a man of many talents. All right, recognizable team, organization coming in for Monkeys, and some recognizable players. We have Lynxy, Frosty the King, Astro Boy, Kills, and Mario Games at support. I don't quote me. Maybe one player has been on a roster at Rivals League before, but a lot of new faces to Rivals League. But a recognizable org and a 49-point team, and I think one of the few teams that actually has all their players eligible to play for Week 1. So we'll see it. We'll probably jinx it, and it'll be the one team that like subs all their subs in Week 1 or something. But yeah, 49-point team coming in. What are your thoughts?
Well, one of the more balanced teams we spoke earlier, I think BBG also pretty balanced, but top to bot distribution here, we got 11, 10, 11, 5, and 12. We see kills there at 5 points, maybe a little low on the scale here for the carry position, but every other position, 1 or 2 points away from each other. You look at their bench, 3 players all at 10. This just looks like a very, very balanced team. And we mentioned it earlier. When you're balanced, you can kind of carry out of any position, any role. And there's definitely advantages to doing that, especially in a league like this where you have no idea. We've seen games where one position can get just completely banned out by game 3. You have nothing. And when you have an even balanced team, it can be a huge advantage in that situation.
Yeah, so it seems like teams, whenever they have just the one player with a lower point, I feel like that could be a good strategy because it allows you, to spread more points across the rest of your roster. So to have those players that kind of at a baseline day to day should be very solid players, and then if it's just one player that's maybe on the lower ranked side, the rest of the team can kind of elevate them to play above where they normally play. And I guess that typically goes with if you have a team full of emeralds or something like that, and you have one gold player. They're on the team for a reason. Whether it be the emeralds, found a player, diamond in rough type thing, or I guess in this situation is actually the team captain. So maybe just not a solo queue warrior and is going to be just like a monster in the comp scene. We'll see. This team 49 points. So I similar to Mint, Monkeys, both teams. I'm going to go in with high expectations. We'll see how it goes for them. This next team looks a little familiar. New Origins Hanmoon, your Rivals League reigning champs, Storm, Dibsy. I'm going to assume that's how you say it. D1B. Yeah, I'm going to go with Dibsy. I don't know.
Yeah,
Pandorum,
we'll go with that.
Key, and Star Ravenfire. Players that have all been in Rivals League before. I think Dibsy's at least been on a roster before, maybe a sub. I don't remember, but at least the other 4 I know for sure have been starters. Key's played at least 2 roles, maybe even 3. Who knows? Um, but I mean, yeah, just on paper, it looks like a stacked roster. Is it one of the few teams that's 50? And of course, the reigning champs. So whenever your sub list is also stacked, uh, yeah, I mean, it's the highest of expectations, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're bringing back four of the five starters here. Key did position change between splits, going from jungle to ADC. However, you have that synergy. This is the defending champs for a reason. They are the highest pointed total team in the league at 50. So, huge expectations from this team. I think that everyone is expecting them to be in that top tier here. Will they come out on top two splits in a row? It hasn't happened yet with a repeat winner, but I know that they're looking for that. Like you said, great all the way around. We got Storm 11, Dibsy 10, Pandorum 7, Key 11, Star Ravenfire 11. That mid laner Pandorum, the only one not a double digit point player on the roster, but we've seen Pando. I mean, everyone consistently underrates this guy, and he finds ways to make things happen. He may not play what we're used to seeing in the mid lane. He may not, you know, be a carry that you always want to see, but he enables the rest of his team. He sets them up, and if they're playing at the peak of their performance, this is going to be the team to beat.
Yeah, we shall see. We have not had any team win twice. They do, I believe, have the one single player that has two Rivals League championships in Nike Dragon, chilling cozy on the bench down there. But no team has won twice. We'll see if they can do it. Uh, Next, another new team name, but with some familiar faces. We're gonna have Ninjas in Pajamas, Alcoholic Top. I meant to look up what this name is in the jungle. I'm gonna go with Spartan because I feel like that's his, hashtag thing. So we're gonna go Spartan Jungle. Millie Bobby Brown coming back. Mid Hayden and Luigi Max PR support. What are your thoughts on this team?
So we just talked about New Origins being 50 points. This is the other 50-point team, so we do have two in the league. They maxed out their points. Um, we've There's some players here that we've seen before doing a good job. Mainly Alcoholic and Millie Bobby Brown. Definitely have had some high highs out of those players, but haven't been here every split. I know specifically for Alcoholic wasn't always a starter, but did show out when he did play. Um, I think this is going to be a great team. They, once again, pretty balanced team top to bot. It's for points, it's 11, 14, 9, 11, and 5. So Luigi, the lowest pointed player on this team, seems though that it's pretty balanced, and it will be interesting. Mr. Spartan over there, I'm gonna take a shot at this and say NFPFE. I don't know. That's terrible.
I may try your
Um,
best.
yeah. I tried. Of note is a 14-point player. So we mentioned two previous ones. This is the third out of four 14-point players. So tied for the highest points in the league. Of note, the second jungle that's 14 points. So going to be a lot of pressure seeing if they can live up to that high point total.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if a team that has had the 50 point maxed out. I feel like maybe Condo Esports was, and NOH I think was pretty close. If the 50 points translates to automatic top two team, who knows? They might say they are. We'll have to see as we go on to last but not least team War Legion coming in with some familiar faces as well. I'm gonna go with Loop Dog. Could be Lupe Dog. Who knows? 50-50 chance here. Wheelchair Jungle in Jungle. Joker coming back mid lane. Sniper 80 carry and perfect timer support.
Yeah, we saw these guys last split in maybe not the exact same team, but you know, pretty darn close to GCCE Fatality Dad for last split here. Um, they surprised some people. at the end of the split were really coming on strong in that split. And I'm just going to call it out right now. There's a big thing in the middle there, and that is the reigning MVP himself, Joker, on this team. He's going to be the fourth and final 14-point player in this league. Uh, Able to just take over games, run the map. He ran himself all the way to MVP, as I mentioned, and going to be one of the biggest threats in this league. No pressure, but even if there was, I think Joker can handle that. Only 47 points total for the team, not the lowest, but not the highest, kind of in the middle there, top to bot. It's 6 points for Lupe Dog, 11 for Wheelchair, 14 Joker, Sniper at 5, and Perfect Timer at 11. Um, you know, mm, you got a couple lower ones, but I mean, I think that we can all agree to get Joker on your team is going to make you a preseason favorite to at least make a deep run in the playoffs here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if we get a double MVP player. I forget the first two splits on if they're both on rosters or not, but Joker at least has the chance to go back to back. So we'll see uh, how that shapes out. Yeah, the lower two pointed players in top and 80 carry, which for some teams those are two of the more carry roles, but other teams it's who knows, it could be a jungle mid support type situation. Obviously points once again don't mean everything, so who knows, their best two players could be top and 80 carry. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, AD carry, you just right click things. You don't need points for that. I got no
Exactly.
hands, and I can play it, or at least play a champ here and
Oh,
there.
support things, yeah, we'll see. It's just the support carries, right?
Yeah,
Perfect
yeah,
timer.
for sure.
Okay. Minimize all this stuff a little quicker than I thought, but that's all right. All right, that is your quick little team rundown. We have some more time. Uh, Now that you know the teams, I guess we should probably tell you who you play. Wait, no, we're doing that last. I'm tripping, right? We keep changing what order we're gonna go, and we're gonna do that last. Who you play? Yeah, I was like, we're gonna run right into it
Let's
right
make them
now.
stay for that one.
Yeah, yeah. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. Team rankings. That's what we're gonna do next, right? Let's do it.
Team rankings next.
Team power rank. So both with team and players. How it works, all split. As you tell us we're wrong on everything we do. Um, Power rankings is an average between myself and Husky, your two admins. Do that just so you can't fully blame one person whenever you're ranked lower than your feelings tell you that you should be. Uh, but yeah, you can definitely tell us in the comments who should be where. But this is the preseason based on the on paper stat sheet, I guess. And if you have played before, I guess maybe you have a leg up, or maybe a step down depending on how you perform. But we're gonna kick it off with the team preseason power rankings. Let's see what we have. At number 8, MBN Esports. 7 is going to be Monkeys. 6, War Legion. 5, Big Baller Gaming. 4, Ninjas. 3, Mint. 2, Double Deckers. And 1, of course, the reigning champs, New Origins, Han Moon. I mean, there were some that could have, I think we had a couple that were flipped. I don't remember if it was like 3-4 or maybe 4-5. I don't know, but I think definitely 1-2, and unfortunately 8. I think we both had the same. Uh, yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, a lot of it's just based on points, what we've seen before. Obviously, the top two teams have a lot of players that are coming back. Um, but yeah, I mean, some of this was tough in the preseason. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of it based off of solo queue rank, based off points. Um, you know, this is where you take the screenshot if you're on the right side of the screen, and after you win the whole thing, you tag us and you tell us that we were wrong this whole time. But we have a lot of new faces, a lot of new teams in the league for this split, so We might not know what you're all about. We just have your OPGG, and sometimes that doesn't translate. So we're just going to say that's why we ranked you low. On the other side, I mean, the defending champs have to be one. I don't think anyone can question that being the case. The double decker, lots of returning players, pretty highly rated. That makes a lot of sense. And then, just based off of point totals, kind of goes from there as well. But nothing too crazy, in my opinion. Like you said, we agreed on a lot of the same things. Even when we disagreed, it was like one position off, nothing too crazy. But, motivation for those four guys on the right and a little bit of pressure for those on the left.
Yeah, my hope always, I guess with every split, is whoever we preseason rank eighth, that they make like top two, make finals, like something crazy to where it's like, oh, we were just like super far off. I guess on the other side of that coin, you could say the opposite with whoever we rank one. It's always interesting if they end up like not making playoffs or something. I don't know. Well, I'm open to being proved wrong, right? But yeah, this one will be interesting. I think 3 through 7 was just like shake it up. You could have put them in a bunch of different orders, but we'll have to see whenever we actually see these teams play, come to life, and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I think we're going to, for the sake of time, so it's team power rankings. We obviously have all 5 roles to do for power rankings, and then who are you actually going to play? We'll save that to the very end, but we're going to do one break this stream, and it's going to be right now. Be back in like 3-ish minutes. welcome back. Just the quick first break of Rivals League Split 4. We do that so you don't miss stuff going on, at least as much as we can control. Okay. In typical Rivals League fashion, we will let you decide in the chat which role we're gonna do first for the player power rankings. Anybody that's still awake out there, mid lane, going to get the first vote. We'll ask every time, so you have to re-up once we ask. But mid lane, gonna go first for power rankings. Let's see what we have. Preseason Rivals League Split 4. Mid lane, we're gonna have Ghosty 8, KMZ 7, Millie Bobby Brown 6, Pandorum 5, Frozen Turd 4, Astro Boy 3, Salosin 2, and of course, the reigning MVP Joker at 1.
Yeah, now, not a lot of results to go over. As obviously, this is the preseason. A lot of this going to go off of people's OPGG, what their solo queue rank is. Obviously, there's going to be some things taken into account if we've seen you play in comp before, if you've played in this league in comp before. But, for the most part, we're looking at where you rank, what does your champ pool look like, things of that nature. Certainly, no surprise, the reigning MVP at the top here at number 1. Joker was the MVP for a reason. Going to be the odds-on favorite to repeat in that until we see something different. Salo, number 2, another player that we've seen excel in this league over and over again, being one of the top. And from there on down, we definitely have some strong contenders here. It will be interesting to see how that translates in the Rivals League split coming up here.
Yeah, I think every role we differed a little bit. There's one role that we very much differed on. We'll get to that one, but not too crazy of a difference. But that's obviously tough with the preseason. We'll have to see. I think 3 through 7 was just like kind of similar to the teams. It was like a tough shakeup. I think this might be the second most stacked role. I'll have to see as we go through it again. Old man memory, but I think this is like the second most stacked role. But yeah, we'll see how much this one shakes up week to week. Of course, with some new faces coming in, there are some faces we recognize at least 5 and 6. So we'll see. We gave the nod to 2 people coming in with a little less tape on them. Yeah, we'll have to. Next week we'll see how wrong we were on some of them, or maybe we were exactly correct. That's a possibility, I think, maybe.
That's never happened before, but
It makes it easy
is
to
our
update all the
shot at
stuff, right? It's just like, the exact same. But yeah, that's preseason mid lane power rankings. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, that is your mid lane. What role shall we do next? Preseason role power rankings. It's going to be support. Some people say the most important role. So it's just what they were whispering. Support
Someone's
power
gonna carry the
rankings.
carry.
Of course. We're going to have Luigi Max at 8, Riley Sauce at 7, Sauce at 6, Mario Games 5, Quan at 4, Sprites Gambit 3, Perfect Timer 2, Star Raven Fire at number 1. A lot of people coming back that look familiar. This one was another one that was pretty tough. I think we differed a good amount as this one as well. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely some different people, some new faces. I think that number 1 we did not differ on. In fact, I know that we didn't. Star Ravenfire really showed out last split. It was kind of a 1 and a 2 between 2 different players. The other player support not on a team, or at least not starting on a team in this split. So Star Ravenfire, definitely number 1 there. Perfect Timer also played pretty well last split coming back. And then we got some people that we've seen before here and there, not specifically in the last split. And, definitely some room to move up and to prove why they belong in the top here.
Yeah, it is to know. I feel like Luigi was on a team previously, at least maybe on a sub role. So we'll have to see more games, more tape there. Riley Sauce coming back. I'm 80% confident that Riley Sauce is 80 carry main, uh, playing support, at least
Yep.
slotted in support right now. So we'll see. You ask most 80 carries, they'll say if I can play 80 carry, I can play support. If you're a true support main, you know that's not the case. We'll have to see on that one. Sauce, of course, two sauces right next to each other, similar to Luigi, lower pointed in the support. So we'll see if kind of those bottom three can shake up this top five, which to me is kind of where the breaking point right now in preseason is. We'll have to see if points really matter. We'll have to see. So, but yeah, there's your support power ranks. What is it? Three completely new faces with some 50-50s in there, and then of course the top two. Um, no surprise there. I guess 2 and 3 maybe were close for me. Number 4, so it's tough for the Indian esports support here, especially when we have the team ranked at the bottom. I'm going to be curious to know how Laquan's ranking is going to move around this split, because hey, I know support's the most important role, but if your team plays like a 43-point team, then it's going to be tough sledding. But I have high expectations for both the player and the team, so we'll see how it goes. Support power rankings preseason based on just about our thoughts and feelings. So 3 down, 2 to go, maybe something like that. No, 2 down, 3 to
I
go.
think that's 2 down, two
Yeah,
down,
something like that.
two
A
down.
50-50 chance I was wrong. That's okay. What is next? 80 carry, jungle or top? 80 carry it is. It makes the most sense. You're right. We just saw the carry of the lane. Now let's see the person that has to click a couple buttons. 80 carry coming in power rankings at 1 key, 2 evil fallen. Number 3 is going to be Hayden. 4 Willie Lynx, 5 onset, 6 Saint Nash, 7 sniper, and 8 kills.
One of these days, we're going to get you to say Sniper's full name here, I believe. Just got to, get number one of these power rankings and you'll say it.
All right, I'll try it again if he
Promise
ends
I'll
up number
make it.
1. Okay.
All right. I believe in you, Sniper. So definitely a lot of this going to be, like we've said a couple times, it's preseason. We don't have a ton on everyone here, so we're going off of some of that OPGG. So, if your solo queue rank is a little bit lower or a little bit higher, definitely going to affect where you are specifically in the preseason. Key, we have seen them really excel at multiple positions, so no surprise, defending champ, very highly ranked player. We've seen a lot of them going to be in the number 1 spot. And then, going further down, we definitely have some good players. We see Saint Nash here. I just want to specifically call them out. Last time we saw them playing mid lane, but an ADC player at heart and in solo queue, going back to their main role here for Double Decker. We'll see how that affects them and if they can, skyrocket in the rankings now that they're back to their main role. We will see.
Yeah, I do believe there's 1 or 2 80 carries that I think are like technically off role. I think Willie might be. Again, you tell any player they're playing off role, they'll say, no, I played this 4 splits ago. What are you talking about? Don't know if that's the case here, but I think at least as far as this split goes, hasn't been hard maining 80 carry, but still made the top 4. Solid rank. So whenever you get up, into the higher pointed value, it's kind of expected you could play multiple roles. So we'll see how Willie does. A lot of the players I recognize, maybe not in Rivals League. Of course, Key's the one already touched on. I think Evil Fallen is going to stay in that top 3, a large part of the split as well. Onset, I feel like, was a super high pointed player as well. And then the bottom 3, similar, I guess, to support. It's going to be, I think there's a little bit of a gap between 5 and 6 right now. Not to say that can't change. We could be wrong. Who knows? Just a little bit more to prove, and you get to prove us wrong. So, um, yeah, there's your 80 carry or maybe AP carry, or who knows what they're going to play this split depending on the patches and whatnot. But bot lane power rankings, there they are for the preseason. 2 roles left, top and jungle. Which one should we do next? 50-50 chance. It's going to be jungle. Selfishly was kind of hoping it would be top lane, but I'll point out why that is. Jungle, as per asked from the people, jungle power rankings, it is the role that you and I most differed on. And I would fair to say it's because this is the most stacked role on paper, at least in my opinion. I think you'd agree with me. So it's going to be an interesting split, battle of the jungle. I feel like a lot of the splits, it wasn't even the top 2 most battled for roles as far as being stacked. I think this split, it might just be, we're going to have I Am Nunu at 8, Dibsy 7, Iplock 6, Spartan, you can tell me how to actually say that name, at 5, Righteous 4, Wheelchair Jungle 3, Frosty the King at 2, and Krabadabadoo at number 1.
Yeah, CB hit on this. Definitely on paper the most stacked role. I think 6 players are Emerald on this role, which is the highest of any of them. You look at their OPGGs, you just impressed across the board in this role. For those who, got towards the bottom of the list here, doesn't mean that you are bad by any means, but solo queue ranks off the hook at the top of this list. A lot of very high ranked players. 2 of our 4 14-point players in the league on this list. So at least in the preseason, going to be very difficult to move to that top, but that's why we play games. You can take your spot on the Rift.
Yeah, I know at least all 8 players are pointed as Emerald players. I think 1 or 2 maybe because of games, or maybe win rate or something like that, so they might not technically be Emerald, but at least all slotted in the relative same elo-ish. And then, of course, returning names to rivals leagues, just some recognizable names. Yeah, this one was tough. I mean, you look on the right half of your screen, and it feels like at least half of those. How are they in the bottom half? It's gonna be like that all split. Maybe we're overrating some players. Maybe it's not really the most stacked role. We'll have to see. But 1 or 2, maybe even 3 players are, I think, technically playing off role, at least as far as past splits go. We'll see if that actually impedes their power ranking abilities. But yeah, this one's gonna be an interesting one. This is the circled role on my board. Just gonna be a battle for the top spots, and we'll see if in the games, if kind of play style and champ style, or maybe even champ pool depth comes into play on who is the best. Last but not least, which role should we do next? We just skip top lane? I don't know. I guess we'll do it. Since I already made the screen, we'll see. So top lane power rankings. Rivals League split 4. BK's number 1, Storm number 2. I feel like we've played this game before. The teeter-totter back and forth between who's 1 and who's 2. We'll see if it flips every week or not. Alcoholic, I think, not too far behind that top 2 staple in Rivals League as well. 4, Lynxy. 5, Averted. 6, Lupe Dog. 7, Dude Caleb. And 8, Noto. This is another, I think, a super solid role. I do, at least on paper, preseason-wise, I think there's a little bit of a gap, a break between, is it between 3 and 4? Is it between 4 and 5? That's where I don't know. We'll have to see how Lynxy shakes out, and maybe one of these players on the right side prove us wrong. Obviously, points don't mean the most, especially in a role where you can play tanks if your team needs you to. But I feel like usually if you can play tanks, if you can play bruisers, if you can play assassins, or maybe you just pull out some complete random champ like AD carry or a mid lane mage, those type of players usually fare better in the top half of the list because of that versatility, especially with this draft. But Yeah, I mean, the big circle target on the screen is that top three. What do you think?
Oh, I agree with that. No offense to Alcoholic here. I think a very talented top laner. I'm gonna say it's the top two. I mean, I think since season one that these two players have been one and two and 99% of power rankings over the four splits so far. Um, it is the BKs versus Storm. They both have one championship. I believe they both have one all rivals top lane, or at least one each. These guys have been back and forth. It's going to be interesting. For the other six, I mean, let's prove them wrong. These guys think that they're one and two. They've proven they're one and two, but that was the first three splits. I think there's a chance that someone else on this list is going to take over the number one spot and prove to everyone that those guys aren't the end all be all in Rivals League.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it, right? It kind of feels like somebody that's not BKs or Storm's going to end up with the number one spot. Who knows? We'll see how it shakes out. But there is your top lane power rankings. Uh, we'll jump into. We'll see. I know you have a bedtime and whatnot. If you have to run, that's all right. Just let me know. Um,
I'm here for it. Let's go.
quick, couple minute take. So uh, these next two, little surprise ranking type thing I threw together. Husky hasn't seen it yet, so I'm gonna get your thoughts on how right or wrong I am. Just off a first look. Uh, we'll see if we continue this through the split or not. But we always rank players individually. But a lot of the times, teams are made up of two distinct groups. One of them being who I have your top four bot lane duos going into the split. Doesn't always track with individual players, but sometimes the overall bot lane might mean something. So, Key and Star Ravenfire, Evil Fallen, and Sprite's Gambit, Willie, Lynx, and Laquan, Onset, and Riley Sauce. As my top four was super tough to do. I didn't do all eight. Just leave the people guessing who's five and who's eight. But what are your initial thoughts? Just based on what you're seeing.
All right. I obviously did the individual power rankings, so have a little bit of background, but didn't necessarily look overall. Just off the cusp, though, I think one, two, and three are exactly who I would have had in those spots as well. Um, could make an argument maybe a little bit different at two and three. I'm not sure which one I would have ranked higher. I think one seems pretty clear. And then for four, definitely like those players. I would have to look a little bit more close because they weren't necessarily who I would think there. Not that there's anyone else I would throw there. So I think it's pretty clean, but I think the one, two, and three, I definitely agree with you on there.
Okay. So if we have the bot lane duo rankings, that must mean I have something else. Last but not least, your top triangle. Now every team doesn't necessarily play this way. Hell, you might have a support that just roams all games, so it's not even really a bot lane duo. Who knows? But in theory, how to do bot lane duo. So naturally, we have the top triangle power rankings. I have BK's Righteous in Salosin at 1, Lupe Dog, Wheelchair Jungle, and Joker at 2, Lynxy, Frosty the King, Astro Boy at 3, and Alcoholic Spartan and Millie Bobby Brown at 4. This one was super tough. Not only for these four and which order to put them, but even that fourth spot, there were a bunch of top triangles that looked really good on paper. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, same sort of idea. I think one and two were the first things that came to my mind without looking at each individual person and thinking about it for a while. Those just on paper, I've been thinking that those are going to be very strong top sides here. Um, so definitely agree with you on that. Three and four definitely look very strong. Thinking about some other teams, hard to not have the defending champs here in the
It was
top
tough.
four
It
of an
was tough.
entire the entire league. That does seem a little sus, if you will. But the jungle is not who they had jungle last split when they won the whole thing. Think they're very talented, but gotta see them play to prove it to us first. So I think it's a fair ranking.
Yeah, this one was tough. There are multiple teams that definitely that 4 spot, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. That's just initial thoughts. Initial thoughts. All right. Um, last but not least, in the last couple of minutes, um, I guess you kind of maybe want to know who you're playing week 1. So we'll see if I can completely scuff this or not. I'm gonna do little random action going on if I can maybe get this to work correctly. All right. We'll basically do, I guess, one team, one 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. So the first team picked and the 5th team picked will play each other, I guess, to make it super confusing to explain. Just want to make sure the first 2 teams, they are not playing each other. But all right, first on the board, if this works, I probably tried it right. Yeah, we'll get something going.
Ooh, look at that.
Ooh. First team is going to be Double Decker Pecker Wreckers. First off the board. We'll see if I can potentially update some stuff as we go. All right, second team, not their opponent. It's going to be you're not gonna be able to keep track of it in your head, right? I'm gonna have to show something.
Yeah.
But a team that they are not playing, Big Baller Gaming. So far, my initial prediction on who's gonna play who is still alive. I did not have them pitted against each other. Third team.
How do you predict that? This is just
I just like made.
spin.
I basically made a prediction screen, and just
Okay.
pitted teams against each other, and so far I'm good. So another team not playing either one of those teams. I think it's Ninjas in Pajamas off the board. So hey, so far we're good. All 3 unique matchups so far. And last team that's not playing one of those first 3 teams. It's
We still have
going
New
to
Origins on the board here.
be Mint. Okay, I finally got one wrong. It's gonna be Mint over here in this corner. Trying to update it so we can actually do some predictions in the last second. So, all right, who is going to play Double Deckers week 1? I'm seeing a team on the board that would be a kind of cool storyline. We'll see. This is not scripted. This is not a recording. It is random. We'll see. 25% chance. Who's going to play Double Deckers week 1? No
I think
luck
we all know
there.
who we want to see, but it's not going to be them.
No, it's going to be MBN Esports. Hey, that one I had pre-predicted. Look at that. Look at me go.
Okay.
Double Deckers versus Mustard Esports. It's going to play week 1. And I always forget. I think Big Baller was next, right?
I think so, yeah.
The opponent for a Big Baller Gaming is going to be War Legion. It's going to be your week 1 matchup. This, of course, will all get updated on the schedule and all that fun stuff here shortly after the stream. So next, it's going to be the opponent for Ninjas in Pajamas, I do believe. 50-50 chance. It's going to be the reigning champions. New Origins Han Moon versus Ninjas in Pajamas. That must mean, I don't want to make you feel left out by any means. It's probably going to be Monkeys that end up playing Mint. 2 teams in a similar boat to me. 2 recognizable orgs. New to Rivals League. Going to play each other week number 1. That's it for your random matchup. And equally important, who's going to get streamed? That one's not going to be random. It seemed only fair. They came back once again. It's going to be your reigning champions NOH getting streamed. That means Ninjas in Pajamas, by luck of draw. You not only get to play the reigning champions, you also get to do it on the first split 4 stream. No pressure there, and we'll see if I can get this predictions screen pulled up. That way we can actually get your thoughts. Yeah, I
I
guess,
mean, yeah, people like predictions. They like to
yeah,
call us
I mean, I
wrong, which
guess. Of
I guess we'll
course.
probably will never be. But
Yeah, I don't think we've ever actually, no, I don't think we've
just
ever
draft
been.
if. Yeah, never. I mean, I think it's fair, obviously, on who's getting streamed here. It's got to be the defending champs. Pretty much every league does this. They end the season with one team, and they get to kick off the next season to start it all off again. New Horizons, Han Moon, they deserve that, so we're gonna give it to them. Um, all right, I like the graphic. Made on the fly, by the way. Production is killing it, CB. Give
On the
that man
fly.
a raise, whoever is that.
Yeah, tell my boss. Who knows? All right, with stream match. Quick little prediction run through. Uh, I mean, I gotta pick the reigning champs, right? Reigning champs are gonna win this one. The question is it 2-0 or 2-1? We have some people coming back for NIP, but I'm gonna go 2-1. It's kind of a safe answer. I think Ninjas in Pajamas is gonna be a top half team. I'm gonna go NOH to win it, but they're gonna win 2-1.
Okay. I think something just quickly to talk about here is the two 50-point teams facing each other week one. We talked about that a little bit when we introduced everyone, but the two highest pointed teams playing each other, I am going to roll with the defending champs, though. Let's just, for argument's sake, I'm going 2-0, clean sweep. Don't want to say the same thing CB did. So he forced my hands. Don't let me down. NOH 2-0.
Okay. No pressure for the Ninjas over there. We'll see, or maybe it's more pressure for NOH. Who knows? Okay, so both agreeing on who's gonna win. Just depends on how it's gonna go down. Uh, and next we're gonna go Monkeys versus Mint. Uh, 48, 48 points versus 49 points. Uh, question mark around Mint on if they're gonna have all their starters for week one with all those games that they're missing. Um, I go back and forth. It's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go Mint 2-1, but I'm tossing a coin. I don't This is a tough one. I'm gonna lean Mint though.
Okay. I can see that. I feel like if Mint plays all of their starters, I could see that happening. There's a few games missing there. I'm not sure they're going to get them all in. I think they're going to have to pull out a sub. Something's going to happen here, and I'm going to go opposite here. I'm going to go with the monkeys. I'm going 2-1.
Okay. So we're expecting a 3-game banger. Um, but just okay, we'll see. Hey, at least there we go. We won't have the exact same admin pick'em points. So we'll see how that one goes. Mustard Esports versus Double Decker Pecker Wreckers in this week one. A lot of new faces against a lot of familiar faces. Uh, as far as team rankings go, we kind of had them on opposite ends of the spectrum. Uh, I'm not gonna overthink this one. I'm pulling for Mustard Esports on being a team that surprises both of us. But the 43 points is sticking out to me with your two solo laners being lower points. I'm gonna rock with Double Decker in a 2-0.
Okay. Lots of talk there for the top side of Double Decker being very strong. Uh, but I think you're forgetting that Mustard right here, MBN, they have one of the stronger bot side duos in this entire league. I don't think that it is going to be enough. I do have Double Decker winning this, but I'm going 2-1 here. I think that MBN's bot side is going to be strong enough to steal a game here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't think it's yeah. By no means that I'm still rocking 2-0, but I don't think it's gonna be a free 2-0 by any means. I agree. Yeah, can't overlook. I mean, I put the bot lane duo in the top four for a reason. So it might be a matter of what's more important, the top triangle or the bot duo. That series might tell a story there. We'll see. Last but not least, Big Baller Gaming versus War Legion. This one, tough for me. I even forget. I think I ranked him maybe pretty close in the power rankings. I don't know. Not that power rankings necessarily directly translate to who's going to beat who. Um, 49 points versus 47. Yeah, I'm gonna go War Legion 2-1. I'm gonna go War Legion 2-1. Reigning MVP. I'm gonna put some weight in that. Some other familiar faces coming in. I'm gonna go War Legion 2-1.
Okay. Okay. I do like the thought there. Um, we have Joker, definitely one of the better players in this league, coming off the MVP. Uh, kind of stole my thunder there. I was gonna go 2-1, but I like being different. Gotta
You
try
can copy on
something
one. You
here
can
a
copy on
little
one of
bit.
them. We can agree on one. It's okay. It's
No,
okay.
no, 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 no.
It's a safe space.
You know what? Yeah, I'm copying. I'm copying. We're going 2-1. I can't talk myself out of it. I like War Legion here. Uh, you know, we got some good players there, and I think that they're going to play a great game here, and one of the teams to watch for in this split.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big question marks for me around BBG is who's going to play top lane? Are they going to get the games in? And then can Riley Sauce pilot support as well as they piloted AD carry? So those are kind of the two question marks there. Can definitely prove us both wrong, uh, but going to agree at least on one of the predictions. So, okay, there you have it. Week 1 predictions. Preseason stream in the books. Definitely feeling a little rusty on on streaming and whatnot. We'll see. We'll see how Sunday goes. Only a quick little 4-month break. So, um, but yeah, I think overall not too bad of an initial kickoff stream. Any questions, you can put them in the questions chat. You can DM me and whatnot. I'll probably have a couple announcements coming out this week. I'll update the sheet here probably tonight. And you can take all of your who's right, who's wrong, that player sucks conversation straight over to the banter chat, to where if anybody's taking votes on who's going to get banned from banter chat first. Not that I'm pushing for that, but I just have a feeling it's going to happen this split. Don't forget, I guess maybe 3 strikes you're out for those people or person that has their 2 strikes. But we'll see. Maybe I'll just blame the captain, right? It's the captain's fault if their players are doing anything too crazy.
Surely it won't be the same person again. Surely.
Truly not reformed or whatever they say. But yeah, there you have it. Let us know how we're wrong. I guess we'll see how it shakes out, as this is mostly an on paper assessment for the most part. So next stream Sunday, we will see NOH versus NIP, 250 pointed teams, reigning champs. Can they do it again? We shall see on Sunday. Nothing else. You have a good night.
Have a good one, guys.